Let me now bring on board Mr. Rajiv Talwar, Group Executive Director with India's largest real estate company, DLF. Rajiv, good morning. Thank you for joining us. This is Nikunj Dalmia from the Mumbai studio. Rajiv, when you started when the fiscal FY12 started, the company had guided for a total sale of 10 million square feet. But so far in first 9 months, you've only achieved 6.8 million square feet. Are you confident of meeting your guidance?
Every one of the analysts, and we respect those views, they keep on reading figures and they need to note values, they need to note the time for approvals, and therefore, in this business, and a company like ours, which is almost going to deliver about 15,000 flats in all over the country in various cities over the next 15 to 18 months, I think that needs to be taken into account. We are into a constant process of educating each other, educating analysts, educating channels, getting educated by them that what are their concerns and what are their figures which they read. But I think there's much more to real estate than what is really seen by analysts as mere figures. One of those, like which you are pointing out, that okay, 10 million was the guidance, they've booked close to 7 million, what about the rest? See, these are various issues which come across, and this is a long time cycle gap industry. Unfortunately, all of you are more used to manufacturing industries where it says that, okay, what is the value of production which is coming out, any bottlenecks in that, how will sales match up to that. For us, we are really not so concerned about the rise and fall of the share market. We are actually more concerned that yes, while we do take stakeholders into account and we have long stay investors into the shares and into the equity of the company, we do take their concerns on board, we do work for them, but all the same, for us the intrinsic value of turnover, of production is into assets which should constantly rise in value, which should have a good clean title, and which should afford not only financial security but also emotional security into customers who are our buyers and end users.
Right. So, Rajiv, how is leasing panning out for the company then?
Well, leasing activity, yes, it's picking up now, and we find that we follow both the models. One is the leasing model for real estate, which is in retail or in commercial offices, and also the sale model, both in retail as well as commercial offices. We found that while there was a little relaxation in demand for sale model, leasing model has continued to do well, and traction is picking up. Leasing are really rates of leasing, and many cases, as you know, that we have a stock of more than 15 to 16 million of leased out properties, and that forms a very stable income. It forms a bank which you should take note of, that yes, if 2,000 crores or round about there is the income, annual income from leases, then definitely they represent properties worth anywhere from 25 to 28,000 crores, and those are the intrinsic strengths of a group like DLF. And we're very happy that yes, we've long stay lessees even there, and in fact the traction is so good that Gurgaon today is known as the BPO capital of India rather than any other place.
I'm going to prompt a very simple question, something which you've indicated you are committed to do, which is to reduce the overall debt for DLF.
Okay, your question was next 3 to 6 months. As I was telling before, we always have a little longer time perspective within this industry. We were really talking of 2 years, if you recall, when we talked of it last year, that yes, we should be able to get it down by 5 to 6,000 crores in 2 years' time, and I think we are very well sticking on to it. And there are a few big ticket non-core disinvestments which have to be done. We've done quite a few of them, as you've seen. Pune is one of them, and there were others which went on in Gurgaon. So we are similarly hopeful that yes, as everyone is aware, there must be Amman, there must be Mumbai, there must be some hotel plots which are going on. But these are all complex negotiations. The buyers as well as us, you have to arrive at mutually agreeable figures and terms and conditions, and therefore they take time. One has to inform the stock exchanges first of all, so therefore you don't really find too much of information coming out from us.
So Rajiv, what about the non-core assets? What's on the block next, and by when can we expect closure for some of those assets? I mean, how soon can we see the Amman sale and the Mumbai property sale as well to go through?
As soon as we make the next big deal, we'll first inform the stock exchanges and then come on straight before the press. We're equally keen, and I'm sure that so are our buyers. These are very prized assets, and therefore they should be available. I mean, some news should be available coming whenever it does in the future. But all the same, one has to caution that these are highly complex negotiations. There's a point of view on finance, there's a point of view on leveraging, there's a point of view the buyer, what assets and what use can he make of those assets, what is their capability, and therefore they have to plan not for right now only, but maybe perhaps for a few years after taking over that asset. So I think these are various considerations which go, and there can't be a ready-made sale in this that you walk into some place, do some shopping and be out. I think these are places where you suss out each other, you see what are the potentials of the asset, and we also have to see what is the payment schedule, what are the negotiations going on, and then arrive at a conclusion. So it does take time, and I'm quite happy to acknowledge the fact that yes, our finance teams are doing a great job at this.
Rajiv, in one of the investor conferences, DLF had indicated that they expect to make free cash flow from the operating business from FY13. So are you on course to achieve that target?
Yeah, I mean basically it is not only improved sales, but it is also improved launches, it's also improved execution and more efficient execution, perhaps outsourcing it and giving it to bodies which are experts at executing, maintaining very tight schedules with the help of project management companies, and therefore hoping that each stage of payment, each cycle of construction is made that much more efficient that your cash collections are increased and therefore your cash inflows get a boost. That's the basic strategy.